Hola y bienvenido nuevamente a tu clase de español. Hello and welcome back to your Spanish class. Today we are going to study, my dear students, the possessive adjectives. And the possessive adjectives are right here. We use the possessive adjectives to indicate or to say who things belong to, all right? To express possession. That's why they are called possessive adjectives. Now, in English, there is one possessive adjective for each pronoun. Like, for example, I is my, you is your, he, his, she, her, etc. You know the others. But in Spanish, we have two, one for singular and one for plural. I know that in English, we can say my car, my cars, and we don't have to modify the possessive adjective. In here, we take into account the number, right? Whether the noun is singular or plural. Now, I must say that with these pronouns, the first person singular, the second person singular, the third person singular, we don't take into account the gender. We only take into account whether the noun is singular or plural. I say that because with this, we take both elements into account, the gender and also the number, if the noun is singular or plural, or if it's masculine or feminine. But with this and with these others here, down here, with this group, this set here, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, we take both elements into account, whether it's singular or plural or the gender. But with this and this, we don't, right? We only take into account the singular form or the plural form of the noun. Now, let's see, let's pronounce them. For the first person, yo, then is mi or mis. That will be my car, mi carro, right? Or mis carros, if I have several cars, mis carros. Like when you say my car, my cars, or somebody has to be rich to have multiple cars. Not necessarily, but you know, well, that's irrelevant. Tu carro, tus carros, right? Now, carro is masculine. Now, you see, we don't take into account the gender, because I can say mi casa. Casa is feminine, right? So I can say mi casa or mis casas. Mis lápices, you see, my houses, my house or my houses, my pencil or my pencils, right? So we take into account the number. But lápiz, for example, el lápiz is masculine. Carro is also masculine. Casa is feminine, or table is feminine. But I can use it regardless of the gender here with any of these pronouns. But the number is taken into account. So, mi casa, mis casas, mi carro, mis carros, right? And any other noun, regardless of the gender, we can use it with this pronoun, but taking into account, considering whether it is singular or plural. The same thing with this, I repeat, but with this, nosotros or nosotras, right? So we say here, usted. Let's go back to this, right? Usted, su o sus. Él, su o sus. Singular and plural. Ella, su o sus, right? Those are the possessive adjective for the singular and plural, right? Now, nosotros, let's get to it again. Nosotros, nosotras. Now, that's we in English. Now, nosotros is masculine and nosotras is feminine. But we use this possessive adjective with either of them, either pronoun, regardless of the gender, whether it is nosotros masculine or nosotras feminine. But we have to take into account the singular form, but also the gender. So nuestro for nosotros and nuestros, right? Plural, singular, but the gender is masculine. So, important. We take into account the gender and the number with this. Nosotras, nuestra o nuestras. But I can also use nuestro o nuestros with nosotras, right? Which is feminine. And also with nosotros, I can use this feminine form too. What we have to consider is, determine whether the noun is feminine or masculine, and then consider also whether it is singular and plural. So we know which one to use, regardless of the gender of the pronoun. But this is for masculine, and this is feminine. Nosotros, a group of men, for example. Now nosotras, a group of girls, right? Nosotras, but you can use this with any of them. The same thing happens with vosotros and vosotras, which is used in Spain. Then it's vuestro or vuestros in the plural, singular and plural for masculine, and vuestra and vuestras, singular and plural for feminine, regardless of the pronoun, whether it is masculine or feminine. Now with this, ustedes, which is you in the plural, formal, ustedes, is the plural for usted, formal, right, to show respect to people. Now ellos y ellas, the same pronoun, su and sus. And look, for the third person is also the same. We take into account, again, I repeat, the number, but the gender is irrelevant. We don't take it into account. The same thing happens here. The gender is not taken into account, only the number. Now, I have prepared this exercise here where we're going to use these possessive adjectives. And I have written the sentences aligned with each one of the pronoun. As you can see, yo, tú, usted, you see, to make it more comprehensible, more understandable for you. But you will be able to identify, right, each one of the possessive adjectives, just by looking at the pronoun. Yo, right, estoy haciendo, I am doing. Then the command up there, see, the instruction says, utilice el adjetivo posesivo en cada oración. Utilize or use the possessive adjective in each sentence. Tome en cuenta el número y género del nombre usado en las oraciones. Take into account the number and gender of the noun used in the sentence. Of course, when I request, from you to take into account the gender and the number, I am referring to these pronouns, right? Because with this, you don't have to take it into account. You don't have to take into account the gender, but just the number. So with nosotros and nosotras, then en vosotros and vosotras, we take into account both elements, the number and the gender. So in that command in there, take that into account. So we say, yo estoy haciendo, I am doing. Now we consider the noun. The noun is tareas, which is homework. I am doing my homework. Yo estoy haciendo mis tareas. As you can see, tareas is plural. I know that in English, homework is not made plural, except if you add pieces of homework or some homework. But in Spanish, we can make it plural, tareas. Now, yo, plural, mis tareas, right? Mis tareas. So, yo estoy haciendo mis tareas de español ahora mismo. I am doing my, right? Mis tareas, my homework, my Spanish homework right now. Yo estoy haciendo mis tareas de español ahora mismo, right? So, mis, plural, tareas, plural, regardless of the gender. Now, tú eres mi amigo. You are my friend. Consejos. That's what we have to take into account. The noun, right? The noun, consejos. Consejos is plural, which means advice. Again, advice, we say pieces of advice in English. In Spanish, we can make it plural, right? So in English, you don't say advices, you say some advice or a piece of advice. Now, in Spanish, we can make it plural. Consejos. Tú eres mi amigo, you are my friend. Tus consejos, right? So, tú, the plural for tú is tus consejos, right? Very good. Very good. Tus consejos. Tus consejos son muy valiosos para mí. Your advice, your pieces of advice are very valuable for me. Tus consejos son muy valiosos para mí. All right? So, consejos is plural, then is plural. Tus. Let's continue here with this question. ¿De dónde es usted? ¿De dónde es usted? Where are you from? That's usted, formal, right? Right? And the other question is, ¿cuál es su nombre? Now, the noun is nombre. Su nombre, right? Regardless of the gender, again, nombre is masculine, but doesn't matter here with these pronouns, right? But the number matters. So, ¿cuál es su? De usted, from usted, su. Su nombre, right? ¿Cuál es su nombre? What is your name? Por favor, please. ¿Cuál es su nombre, por favor? Right? So, su de usted, right here. Now, let's continue with this one. Luis, which is él. Luis is a proper noun, right? Luis está en. Luis is in. Then we consider here the noun habitación. Habitación, singular, right? La habitación, that is feminine, but again, the gender doesn't matter, but the number. Habitación, only one. En su habitación. Luis, él, singular. Su, all right. So, Luis está en su habitación escuchando música. Luis está en su habitación escuchando música. Luis is in his bedroom listening to music. Okay. So, ella es una artista famosa. Number 5. Ella es una artista famosa. She is a famous artist. Now, canciones, songs, right? Son muy populares. Sus canciones, right? Ella, then canciones, plural. Ella, sus, plural. Sus canciones son muy populares. She is a famous artist. Her songs are very popular. All right. So that's what we have to match, right? The noun and the number of the possessive adjective. As you can see, singular and plural, right? So far, we have been working with the ones that do not take into account the gender. But now, nosotros estudiamos español. We study Spanish. We study Spanish. Profesor. Now, profesor is masculine, right? And is singular. Profesor. Nuestro profesor. Now, nosotros, masculine. Nuestro, singular. Nuestro profesor es dominicano. Our teacher is Dominican. We study Spanish. Nuestro profesor, right? Nuestro profesor es dominicano. We study Spanish. Nuestro profesor es dominicano. Nosotros estudiamos español. Nuestro profesor es dominicano. Nosotras estamos disfrutando. We are enjoying blank vacation, vacaciones, right? So, nosotras estamos disfrutando nuestras vacaciones. Now, feminine, plural, for nosotras. Let's check what it is. Nosotras. Feminine, plural. Nuestras. As you can see, feminine, plural. Nuestras vacaciones. Nosotras estamos disfrutando nuestras vacaciones. So we consider here, you see, the gender and also the number. Nuestras is plural and vacaciones is plural and is feminine. But in English, we only say vacation. In Spanish, we can make it plural, vacaciones, okay? We say that. So, vosotros, let's continue here. Vosotros estáis hambrientos. You are hungry. You are hungry. Vosotros estáis hambrientos. Now, vosotros, and here we have the noun comida. Comida. Comida, la comida, that is singular, and it is feminine. La comida. Vosotros estáis hambrientos. So, what is the singular form for vosotros right here? Vuestra comida. You see? Singular, right? Vosotros, right here. Vosotros. And the possessive for vosotros is vuestra, right? Because it's feminine and it's singular. So vuestra comida, right? Let me just write this like a real B, right? Vuestra comida está en la mesa. Your food is on the table. Vosotros estáis hambrientos. Vuestra comida está en la mesa. So, vosotras sois, you are, very kind. Vosotras sois muy amables. You are very kind. Conocemos vuestros padres. You see, padres is masculine, that's parent, and is plural. Now, vosotras, for vosotras, right here, that is vuestros, masculine, plural. Conocemos, that is the conjugation for we know. In Spanish, we can omit, sometimes we can omit the pronoun and use the conjugation that correspond to the pronoun and it's understood. So we can omit it, and I know because of the conjugation that is the pronoun we. We know your parents. Conocemos vuestros padres. Vuestros, which is plural and masculine, as you can see. Plural, vuestros, is in masculine and plural. Very good. Let's continue with more. Here we have a question. ¿Tienen ustedes pasaportes al día? It's like a question. Do you have? But that's ustedes, right? Sus, because passport is plural, as you can see. The noun here is pasaportes. So, ¿tienen ustedes sus pasaportes al día? Do you have your passport up to date? ¿Tienen ustedes sus pasaportes al día? So, ustedes, then is sus, regardless of the gender, right? Now we know that pasaporte is masculine. Los pasaportes, right? We don't take it into account with this possessive adjective. Ellos le trajeron flores. They brought flowers. Ellos. Now the noun is madre, right? Madre is mother, obviously is feminine and is singular, right? Now, the gender doesn't matter. Again, because it's ellos. And here with ellos, the noun can be masculine and feminine, it doesn't matter, but the gender is important. So it's su madre, right? Ellos le trajeron flores a su madre en su cumpleaños. They brought flowers to their mother on her birthday. Ellos le trajeron flores a su madre en su cumpleaños. As you notice, I pronounce and I repeat the sentences sometimes so you can listen to the pronunciation and grasp, right? And get it, learn the pronunciation. Ellos le trajeron. Trajeron is like, the past tense of bring, brought. Ellos le trajeron flowers, a su madre en su cumpleaños. And the last but not least, ellas compran, they buy. Ellas compran ropas. Ropas is clothes, and it's plural. Ellas, then is, for ellas is sus ropas. Ellas compran sus ropas en el extranjero, right? They buy their clothes abroad or overseas, right? They buy their clothes abroad or overseas. Ellas compran sus ropas en el extranjero. Very good. Well, and that is the way that we use the possessive adjectives. All right. We take into account with this pronoun just the number, right? Whether the noun is singular and plural. The gender does not count with this pronoun, with this, possessive adjectives. But with this, we take into account both the gender and the number. With these ones, we don't. I reiterate that. So there you have the possessive adjectives for you to integrate in your Spanish learning process. I hope that you have understood this. I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to the channel if you think that these classes are contributing to your learning process, and give us a like and share the video, please. We appreciate your choosing us, to study Spanish. So thank you.